que j'ai trop réduit la quantité d'énergie.
Parce que tu es lâche et que tu as peur d'y laisser ta peau si jamais l'explosion était trop violente. Tu as commis une grave erreur. Mais grâce à cette stupide erreur, j'ai la vie sauve.
Profite-en parce que ça ne va pas durer.
He really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Fennel's carriage for the joyride?
Really? The greatest warriors in Rivellon can't cross a rope.
Easy does it.
Is that why we never sailed the Duchess of anymore?
Speaking of you, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Fennel's carriage for the joyride?
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orchid charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Fennel's carriage for the joyride?
Easy does it.
Straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Youthful Gore anymore? Good on you. These bossmen respect company. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Daylight was more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
But it's slipping me heels.
Slimy, reeking, rotting sea garbage.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. Curtius is my name. The Legion is my calling.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves me.
Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orcs are predators, not pets?
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile, but my prejudiced friend here still wants to kill her. My friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? For a brief second, as long as eternity, we locked eyes. Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword and instead adroitly fling my pouch of trinkets towards her. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, she became instantly enamored. I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the Orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never willingly join up with those vicious marauders.
Ha! I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's telling when she'll escape and who she'll rip to shreds? You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to shave him from his murderous darling.
She's got to be put down. If this love potion is as dodgy as it sounds, she could come to her vicious senses at any time.
What's the point in causing more pain in this beleaguered city? Question her and see what comes of it.
You must realize that if this orc gets loose in the city, we're the ones who'll have to put her down and deal with the bloody aftermath.
Don't you want to see whether or not this experiment proves successful? A real working love potion. Think of the possibilities.
All right, we'll do it your way.
Bravo! I trust not only the potion, but my scaly sweetheart in and of herself.
You're going to regret this. We're all going to regret this.
Too bad indeed. Not even a skeptic like you can deny that she loves him.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little charm fades, she'll liberate the flesh from our faces.
Come now, enough doom and gloom. Cast your gaze instead upon my fair, fanged filly.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sakes.
She wouldn't hurt a fly, and I won't let you hurt a horn on her head.
Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough, before these lean times around Sicil began. Still, that doesn't waive a man's need to eat, you know. I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose steal. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
Tomatoes?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
I'm sure this one little fish won't starve the
That fish simply isn't ours to give.
Ethics are fine in theory, but nothing would stop me from helping you through a hard time. This man merely holds that same principle.
All right, we'll do it your way.
That's the spirit! Or should I say, the soul?
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid. I paid before.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
This man is telling the truth.
Indeed he did not. He's a thief and should be punished.
You'll be sleeping with the fishes if you don't...
This fish here landed himself in troubled waters. Don't drag us in, too.
Fresh haddock. Perfect for a fry-up.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Very well, have it your way.
What kind of monster are you? You encourage me to take the fish and then throw me to the wolves. Curse you!
Come along quietly. You did the crime, sir, and the sentence is yours alone.
Sorry, but I haven't the time for chatter. These days, a moment's inattention is all a thief needs to snatch my livelihood out from under me.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
Pay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice them, stir and churn.
Any takers? Come on, you chickens!
What's the
hello, proportionate one. I'm a painter by trade, as you can see, but a cartographer at heart. You might think there isn't enough work for one of my talents in a downtrodden city like Sicil, and you'd be quite right. I travel around Andervale, mastering my craft and finding new subjects to add to my litany of lovely portraits and complex maps, like this rooster I'm working on now, and the...
Well, hello there.
Thank the seven, we've secured the perimeter.
You there? You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Can you spare a coin?
Come on!
So ardently did he crave creamy
My
blues and
word!
gory reds that he ordered a contest across his
My
realm.
word!
Ah! You there! You don't look like someone who's ever been
My
serenaded by a
word!
severed head. Step right up!
Today, I think,
Fantastic!
a king,
Bravo!
the great
Bravo!
Sigurd and his rainbow of war
My
machines. It is said, and this I have heard from a ghost who knew Elba, who knew Elliot, who is said to have known Sigurd himself,
Fantastic!
that the king had a great thirst for colour. So ardently did he crave creamy blues and gory reds.
Join the Fun Club if you've got an eye for fun, Taylor.
What a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh,
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter? I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor, but his one and only princess just the same. Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, there are certainly some, interesting creatures running around these days. Orcs are only the tip of the brutish iceberg. Don't forget the murderous bones along the northern gate. And if the rumors are right, the ghosts in the Black Cove. How's that old expression? When the blood spills, it pours.
Praise be that Arhu the wizard has the wits about him to build these newfangled weapons of his, or Sicil would have been the very throne of decay by now. Because of him, life here is almost bearable again, despite the walking dead. Though it's rather eerie and perplexing at the same time to think about how quickly one adjusts to the great dangers when a handful of guardians holds them at bay.
Adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are, kind Septimus. You must have fought many a battle, am I right? In fact, I bet you're a real war hero.
Oh, I'm no hero, Esmeralda, dearest. I'm just doing my duty, you know, for the Legion.
Well, you certainly are my hero. The rock upon which I may rest my weary soul in these trying and troubled times.
Never fear, milady. As long as I'm around, no hair on your haloed head shall be harmed.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
The hunter returns! I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich. Assure me, dear Septimus, that you haven't been fighting those awful orcs. I can't bear to imagine something would happen to you.
Oh, but don't you worry, lady. We legionnaires are highly trained soldiers who fear neither orc nor demon.
Oh, but what if you were to be ambushed, caught unawares? Oh, catch me, for I might faint.
Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Oh no, noble friend. Your upper chakras are in desperate need of a good scrubbing. Fortunately for you, my homebrewed tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs.
Well, hello there. Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Heavenly herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scratch off.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Not in the mood for cheese. An excuse is more home than a slice of this fine golden there.
Quiet day on the market, it seems.
Ah, gracious patron, I see your tired eyes looking a bit teary. I've just the potion for that. Or would you prefer a toasty fire spell to dry those vapours?
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Toe of snake, wing of worm.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you. My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed. No, all my clothes are in fine condition, thanks. I've been going to the same tailor for years. That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in, exactly? Ah, the library. Yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself. Marvelous!
I've got my eyes on the prize.
What? Oh, yes. This library is the jewel in Sicil's crown. The beacon of culture and learning in our fair city. My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved books. What? Oh, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now. Please introduce yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. Is there no new book to be discovered in this
In the name
library?
of Amon-Hor, I bid thee Tujda Geta Hal. Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicil toward the sea.
This isn't the grimoire.
The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amon-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own, this kindest of souls, taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Nonsense. The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
Kajdanor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum.
Brief history of
first
sorcery
edition
still
too.
hasn't been returned.
Most promising.
Teleron will have to pay yet another fine.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition too.
Where's
Most
the
promising.
third one?
With many cheeses.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye for farm potatoes.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero the whole of Sicil is abuzz about. The talk of the town. The juiciest grape on the grapevine. Such a pleasure to meet you. No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Fate has put me on this very spot so I may tell you all about a most intriguing opportunity indeed. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine.
But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I saved lives, to be sure, but today I change them. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full extent of the promise that is locked inside of each and every one of us. So first of all, let me ask you this question. Do you like adventure?
Of course I do.
Quite right.
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path. The rush of finding yourself in a goblin ambush, knowing you'll prevail nonetheless. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now, between you and me, tell me truthfully, don't you sometimes wish you could earn more?
Well, I can't say that I have.
And I can't say that I have. I'm content with what I have.
Well, don't quarrel about it on my account. Still, if a matter is divisive, it is divisive mainly because it is alluring. And riches are so very alluring. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders. Investigate this, retrieve that, and at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Wouldn't you prefer to call your own shots? Be your own boss?
It's better to lead than to follow. That much is true.
I disagree. I, for one, am content with my station.
You disagree with one another. But that proves you are firm-willed, that you have the minds of independence, not dependence. Admit, life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding. Am I right? Of course I am. And I could help you attain the dream, enact the change you deserve. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is the Fabulous Five. The invitation to join is yours. Grab it. Ah, the Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. Our mantra, to better ourselves as we do so. To realize our dreams and cleanse our souls. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. Of course, of course, of course. All you need to do is sign this waiver, and just like that, snap! You're part of the family.
Join a guild. Better the...
And me.
Marvelous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet. You found new recruits already? Efficient. Proactive. Oh, I like that. Send them to me and I'll sign them up. And of course, since they're your recruits, you'll get a share of every assignment they complete. Isn't that just fabulous? Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not Fabulous Five material, him. His experimental weapons may keep a couple of skeletons away from the city, but many of his other researches failed, malfunctioned with tragic consequences. One of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. It was supposed to crush the undead by the dozens, piloted as it was by a trained legionnaire. But you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, what if it comes back? It could smash the city walls and claim 100 lives before being subdued. Luckily, there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. Find this wizard's abomination and claim your just reward from Mayor Cecil in the name of our hallowed guild. Easy money.
Ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while.
Come now, Alistair. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Careful now.
Right there. Until you've received the captain's permission to enter, this door doesn't exist. Got it?
Never saw you in the king crab before. You're welcome to scratch me behind the ears if you like. I won't scratch back. By all means.
Do I seem like the sort
I
of-
am Unsinkable Sam. At least that's what they call me around here. Used to be a ship's cat, but the clipper I was on sank, and I was the only one to wrestle himself free from the waves. The people here were kind and took me in. Been the king crab's foremost patron ever since. A magnificent ship she was. Used to belong to a pirate, I was told. Unlike me, she didn't prove to be unsinkable, though. We hit the cliffs right neath the lighthouse. Not very apt a name for that building, I must say, for no light was shining from it. The moment I hit the water, I writhed around like I would on a hot tin roof. By some miracle, I managed to reach the beach, covered in kelp and smelling worse than a fish's funeral parlor. But I was alive, and that was more than anybody else could say. So I was. What friends I had. They drowned alongside the rats I used to hunt in the galley. And there I was, all alone. Not that I have it bad here, mind you. I've milk and fish aplenty. Most folks will pet me kindly, and when one of the village girls holds me tight against her ample bosom, I purr up a storm. But I do long for a companion of my own kind. And in that regard, there is no one like Maxine. Maxine, the mayor's darling pet. So gentle, so fair a feline. The grace of her whiskers, the subtle palette of dyes in her sable coat. She's one of a kind, that cat. She likes me. I know she does. But when I declare my love, she backs away. I don't know why. I've serenaded her and braved many a bucket of water for my efforts. But for some reason, she is not to be swayed.
Not in the mood for cheese. Their excuse is more holes than a slice of this fine Gorman bear.
Oh, there's
my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah.
Toasty!
Now, where's my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? I could do with a cold drink.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Greetings. These stores are for our legion.
Step aside! This maniac's gonna turn me into a meat pie!
The chicken has the right...
Yes, let's pardon him. Just look at the little blighter. He doesn't deserve the knife.
Yippee-ki-yay! I'm free! I'm free! So long, suckers!
Why did you let my chicken escape? You let my chicken escape? Looks like it's your lucky day, Jack. Now to tell the troops they're getting nothing but the cornbread.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
You think
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
No, sir. Come on with the dramatics. It's not...
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar! Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town. Not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know? Oh, I am but a wizard, a guardian of man and beast, and indeed I am both. My body, like any other, is bound to temporal decay. But my spirit is a speck of light that shone forth from the eternal sun that is the cosmic soul. My task upon this earth is to protect the heart of nature, the very antithesis of which is the intrigue spun by demons and directors of the dead. Hence my involvement in Sicil. You see, my one desire is to witness a world in which every mother looks around her and purrs with calm contentment, for she knows that her chicks or children, her cubs or calves, will grow up without knowing the meaning of menace, the enfeeblement of fear. To my great regret, none of them purr as yet. By all means. Of course. I hope your investigation fares well. I can but piece together what few morsels fell from the grapevine into a rather disappointing meal, I'm afraid. They say a woman arrived in the King Crab Inn sometime after midnight. She retired to a room on the ground floor, where she was soon joined by a man who had been nursing the same cup of wine for hours. I say man and woman because both of them were cloaked and recognized by none. About an hour later, another figure arrived, headed for the same room. Soon after, a terrible commotion erupted and the thundering light of magic was witnessed by the few remaining patrons. It took a while for the landlord to pluck up the courage to enter the mystery room. When finally he did, he found Jake there, dead. How and why he came to be there, no one knows. But I had a good look around the scene of the crime before the Legion barred anyone from entering. The traces of magic I felt were vile. Source, no doubt. I myself have none, even though the rest of the town has already mentally tried and convicted Jake's wife, Esmeralda. Now, it may well be established that she is in fact the guilty party. I'm not claiming that I'm certain she's innocent, but let's just say that if I really thought this murder case would be so very easily resolved, I wouldn't have sent for source hunters. Strangers leading orcs. Humans. But that would be like kittens leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit strangely nowadays. I don't know quite what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. And what might those be? One of them failed? Who is the mongrel that dares to question my engineering expertise? I take it the mutt in question was referring to the Sparkmaster 5000. It isn't failing, it just became... well, it became self-aware. Frightfully annoying when that happens. You know what? Here's the remote access device with which I used to control it. There's a manual for that somewhere around here, too. Yours, if you can find it. I really should invite Victoria one of these days, so she can help me organize my mess of a library. Oh, a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista, add a 100% legally obtained self-regenerating source of destructive magic to it, and Bobcat's your uncle. And what might those be? In truth, I don't know. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now, and for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's fur.
Sorry, sir. You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage. Ah, cruel fortune.
What on earth would an undertaker want with the likes of Huggett?
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens. Lonesome? Spiritless? Perhaps wrestling at...
Oh, golly gosh! One who flaunts the highways and byways of silly old Sicile with the easy elegance of a puss with her tail in the air. I do declare such a sight is rather rare around here. But where are my manners? I am Maxine, and you must be one of those hunters one hears so much about. Charmed, I'm sure. Oh, he's a darling old Tom, isn't he? Paws over tails in love with me, and who can blame him? The feeling's, well, it's rather mutual, actually. But that pet of a puss simply doesn't have a penny to his name. At the risk of sounding as shallow as a spaniel, I can't but admit my love does not come unconditionally. What if we were to have kittens, he and I? They'd jolly well starve, wouldn't they, with an alley cat for a papa? Oh, dear Sam, he's such a good old bean. But he does rather reside at the bottom of the scratching pole, doesn't he? And dear me, one must have at least a mite of standards.
Stop right there. Until you've received the captain. Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz through the town's finest magical murder scene. Enjoy.
Source was...
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious! Oh yes, proper introductions. Zigzax the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was, and is, and hopefully all that is to be. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, hopping to the end of time is as easy as 1, 2, 3. How you got here, though? That's a rather more interesting question. On such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul but my own shadow. What am I doing here? Attempting to avert disaster, of course. Attempting to prevent all that is from disappearing. Tell me, friend, when I mentioned that this place is the end of time, did your heart quicken and your stomach drop? If not, they should have. Time ought to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens and feast your soon-to-be terrified eyes on the darkness that is approaching.
Maybe quite...
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal! It's the portal! It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move further away. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more! It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagued your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he sees one. After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side. You first, but don't dilly-dally.
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
Could it be, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history? Author of all that has ever been?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that instigated my finding you. But why? Surely you must know.
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? A stone. So, it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Is that so? Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in all my work. Never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected. Life does not simply spring into existence, you see. But yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone. Starstone. I now know it to be called.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into your tapestry?
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source hunters, it would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret, a secret lost, even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore what has been lost? So, what do you think, Source Hunter?
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told that we alone can prevent the end of time by way of some magical stones. What do you make of it?
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this, mad as it may seem.
No matter how improbable, anything is possible. If the Weaver tells the truth, we have some serious work ahead of us.
Come, come! I got something for you if you're up to the challenge.